Just
Hang
wait
on,
there.
you were
I'm
super
going to get in that
rational.
water.
You were super rational. Why do you need to go and tow the thing
Oh,
in?
look, there's a
Tow
shark
the thing in.
tooth. I'll carry on
Yeah.
swimming.
That's the way they just there.
Hey, welcome to Screen Time, where we watch movies and play games from our past and re-experience them, or watch things afresh and
Yeah.
try new content.
Yeah. So what did we watch this week?
So this week,
Yeah.
I think we watched probably a true favourite.
Yeah, I would say so.
And if you're going to watch the true favourite, then follow it up with the sequel.
Yeah.
So this week we watched Jaws.
Yeah,
And we've watched Jaws 2.
we did.
So today we're going to talk about both movies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't even imagine how many times I've actually seen Jaws. It's beyond
I can't
calculable.
count them.
I can't count
I
them.
can't count them. Why don't we go through the premise of Jaws?
I mean,
simple, really.
Yeah, I mean, basically the premise of Jaws is that a small town beachside community gets a rare occasion of a shark attack, and they and how the town react to it.
Take the stuff back to the office and get to work on those signs. Beach is closed. No swimming. By order of the Amity PD.
Then inevitably they have to pay someone to hunt down the shark, and that's the basic
That's the premise.
That's the premise of that one.
What was the year of Jaws?
Jaws was, I think it was 1975.
75. I think it was 75.
Let me
And
just
it's
double
directed by Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg, yeah. It was his big blockbuster. He'd had a couple of movies before this, which were The Sugarland Express and Duel, but this was the one that really basically broke the box office. I probably watched it on VHS the very first time.
Right.
I was too
Yeah.
young to see it when it came out of the cinema.
Yeah.
But I remember the hype behind it because I used to have a Jaws toy, which was like
okay.
a buckaroo game where you had to pick stuff out and the jaws of the shark clamped shut.
Brilliant.
So I was feeding off of the frenzy of the actual...
But that's lovely though,
merchandising.
because you remember the
Yeah.
actual feeling around the movie when it was released.
Absolutely.
You know-
I think the film itself is sort of two halves, isn't it? Would you say it's like the first half it's sort of all based around the town and the characters in the town?
Hey, look at the kids kissing my fist, 8 and 9 year old. Hey, glasses, yeah?
Build up.
And the build up.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the shark is attacking in the first half, and in the second half they go on the attack because they go out to sea and they try and
Yeah, I mean,
get the shark.
I've never really seen it like that. One thing that I do really love about Jaws is it's a gradual build.
Yeah.
You know, it gives you just little snippets,
Yeah.
and each sequence, like the movie itself builds
Yes.
to a big crescendo.
Yeah.
But the actual little scenes in between, they build as well into their moments.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what keeps you so engaged with the movie, because it's not too much too soon.
I don't know if that was by design necessarily or whether it was just luck. And I think the main problem with Jaws at the time was that the shark didn't work, which I think everyone knows this. They had so many problems with the actual production of this. I think they were meant to run 88 days to make the film, and they ran 190 odd days or something. It was like 100 days over.
Wow.
So they were literally filming everything or finding out ways that they could film without there actually being a shark.
But I mean, that's what makes it really, in
that's-
my eyes, that's what makes it successful.
Yeah.
I mean, a prime example right at the get-go,
Yeah.
you know, you have the music.
Yeah.
So the music gives you the feel of what the movie's going to be about.
Yeah.
I think we know from the title that it's going to be some sort of predator.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's that you're introduced to the shark right from the start, but you don't see it.
Yeah.
And you're going through the waters.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, through the reeds
And
and
you're
the seaweed.
traveling with the shark.
Yeah.
But that opening scene with the girl giving
Chrissy.
eyes
Yeah.
to the chap, and then they run off. It's two very extreme like setups between the two of them,
Yeah.
in terms of like their stress levels,
Yeah.
and the way you've got polarizing moments. You've got when the shark goes after her and she's having her swim, the shark comes from underneath and grabs her legs, and she's being pulled around. I mean, it's
really violent.
It's really violent,
Yeah.
but you don't have to see anything. Your imagination gives you enough
It's
to
more.
make it horrific. But then you've got all of this going on with her, and she's been, you know, she goes into the boy and she's hanging onto the boy, and then it cuts.
Yeah.
And you've got this really calm shot where the man is passed out, and the water is just lightly lapping his toes.
It's like two contrasts.
And it's I've never really looked at it like that before, but when I was watching it this time, I was really sort of paying attention, and it's really clever.
What's clever about that also is that on that first attack, there's a moment of hope where she grabs onto the buoy or the boy or whatever, and you think, oh, okay, and then there's a slight cut and she's getting pulled away again, and you're like, oh my god, she's had it. The way they filmed that is really clever. They basically had a pair of almost like Levi type shorts that she was wearing, reinforced, and they had winches attached to each side, and then they had two sort of sprockets at each side of her, and then there were two men on the shore literally pulling her backwards and forwards, and she couldn't go too far because she'd go too far out of shot. But that whiplash, she said that she was really bruised. Some people said that it broke her back, but it didn't. She actually said no. I just sprained it a little bit, but she knew that if she was going that way, her arms would go that way, and she said all I did was just scream. And
it's really effective.
What did you think of the town? And what do you think of the characters?
I mean, the town is really homely, and the music really gives you that sense. You know, it's when he walks out of his office and he's going through the town, and they're all practicing
for their summer.
Exactly, and they're all moaning about the neighbours and things like that. You know, it's such small town community feel. And there's a band playing in the background, so it's that old kind of town, you know,
seaside town,
typical seaside town.
Gearing up for their summer season.
It's already pretty busy on the streets.
It was actually shot in Martha's Vineyard, and the funny thing about it is that they had no idea really what the film was. They didn't really. So these people from Hollywood arrive, and luckily for the film company, most of the locals were like, "Yeah, we'll do it for free. Yeah, we'll just." So that's what gives the film its actual really quirkiness, is that so many of the actors in it were just locals. They would just have the odd line here. So it kind of feels
rich.
It feels really good. It's not super high produced. It feels a little bit documentary in some ways, because the way they just they sort of mumble their words. You can't. It's all very noise over noise and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really like that. We'll talk about the second movie later, but they kind of clued into that by the second movie, and they were like, we want to get paid.
Right. Oh, I see. Well, anyway. People learn quickly.
They do learn quickly.
Coming back to the characters, you know, you have Brody, who's the police chief.
Yeah.
And you learn, not right from the get-go, but you learn as the film progresses that he's very scared of water.
Yeah.
He's actually says that he's scared of drowning.
Yes, it's a childhood thing. There's a clinical name for it, isn't there?
Drowning.
The wife is like, well, why are we on an island if you're scared of...
Matt's like,
why are you here? And he's like, well, when you're on it doesn't feel like you're on an island or whatever.
Exactly.
But anyway, he has to deal with a lot.
Yeah.
You know, he's fighting to try and get things sorted.
We're finished. We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark.
And then, of course, you've got the mayor, who is just... You can understand up to a point, I feel.
Yes. The town heavily relies on summer income to keep the town functioning.
Yes. And I mean, after they know that, that young girl was attacked by a shark, they're having that meeting, and people are going, are you going to close the beaches? Yes, we are. Oh, and they all go up, and people have been killed.
But again, it's their livelihood. That's when they make their money. That's how they're going to survive. But it's that thing of like rational and then irrational, or depending on which way you look at it.
But it's frustrating. It's the mayor is a very frustrating
watch.
Oh yeah. And even now, even though I know how the movie's going to go, I'm still like, when I watch it. Yeah. And then we have Matt Hooper.
Yeah.
Who comes.
He's like the voice of reason in it, because he kind of brings the science into all of this. And the mayor is just not having any of it. It's like, do you want to get your name on the front cover of, science.
They're all really
They're all
nasty
really
to
nasty to
him.
him. And I love his character because he does bring that kind of like, it's almost like you can rely on him. Except for one moment where I'm just like, why are you doing that? Where he decides to just have a look at the hull of the ship.
Oh, I know.
And you're like,
Just
hang
wait
on,
there.
You were
I'm
super
gonna get in that
rational.
water.
You were super rational. Why do you need to go and
Let's tow it in.
Don't worry, Martin. Nothing's gonna happen.
tow the thing
Oh,
in?
look, there's a
Tow
shark
the thing
tooth.
in.
Oh, I carry on
Yeah.
swimming. But
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, he's very professional.
Yeah.
You know that he has a real depth of knowledge
Yeah.
of what he know
Yeah.
is involved
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
I always feel when I'm watching it, if I was on that boat, I would be stuck to him
Yeah,
that
yeah,
whole time
absolutely.
because I mean he knows his stuff, but he doesn't have a massive ego about it
Yeah.
either.
Portable shower or a monkey cage? Anti-shark cage.
You know, he's very level.
Yeah.
He jokes around a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
just like,
absolutely.
do we need a bigger boat? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why they didn't use his rather than that wooden one.
Oh, Quint wouldn't have had it. So we have Quint as well, who they end up. Yeah, yes. He draws attention, obviously, when there's the town meeting, and he scratches his nails. And I love the fact he's had time to draw a shark on the
I know.
on the board as well.
I noticed that.
He's drawn a little shark. He's like this old salty sea dog with a
the
past,
shanties.
with the shanties and the crude kind of like limericks, etc. And they employ him to go out with them to kill the shark.
Yeah.
And he's a great character.
He's a really good character, and you know you do discover in the movie that he's got some real horrific stories from his past
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, with the Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And but I mean, he's another character that really, you know, goes quite hard on Hooper.
You got city hands, Mr. Hooper. Been counting money all your life.
He doesn't think that he's worked hard in his life.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it's like-
let's check your hands.
Yeah, it's
and
very
all
much
of
a
that.
class thing going on there.
Yeah, and I
But-
think the one time they actually bond is when they're all drinking
Yeah.
around the table,
Yeah.
and they're comparing all of their wounds and
That's
scars.
true.
Drink to your leg. I'll drink to your leg. Okay, so we drink to our legs.
Later on, when Quint is literally out of ideas,
Yeah.
and he says, "What can you do with your stuff?"
Yeah.
He finally turns to him and says, "What can you do with your stuff?" And you're like, okay, so he's now taking him seriously as someone that who could provide him with stuff.
Hooper, what exactly can you do with these things of yours?
You can see him losing it
Mm.
when they decide finally to start driving the boat towards the shore,
Mm-hmm.
and he's looking at how much pressure there is on the gauge, and he's pushing it, and you can even see in his face like, oh my God, we're
Yeah,
failing.
Yeah.
And there is a definite moment where he sort of almost
Well, it's almost
sort of
like
loses it.
he
like,
starts to lose it.
Yeah.
He's like, singing that sea shanty, and you're like, okay, he's
he's not in control.
not in
anymore.
control anymore.
Yeah.
He's lost the control,
Yeah.
and he's really losing it. We've both watched the movie so much. Is there a particular part or moment in the film that you love to see again and again?
I really enjoy the moment when he is on the beach and is with the young boy who goes out on the Lilo.
Oh,
I
okay.
really find that scene, as I was saying, you know, the whole build, how he builds the scenes, that scene is so cleverly built up. Starts, I think, with the man and his dog Pippet, and you know, he's throwing a ball or something.
Yeah.
The dog,
Yeah.
the dog's going in and out of the water, and you know, and you're looking at it from the chief's perspective, and he's sitting there, and people are coming in and talking to him, and he's, you know,
Trying to
trying
look
to look past them. And you can feel it. You're like, get out of the way,
Well, your
you know.
attention's drawn to
yeah,
that as well.
exactly.
You're
so
looking
you're
behind.
really starting to feel how he's feeling, and then of course you've got the person with the cap swimming that's going under the water, and there's so many different moments like that, and it gradually builds to the point where you're on edge as well.
Yeah, and I think also it's still
very
shocking now
clever.
because in modern day movies you don't often get to see a child getting
No.
killed on film.
Yeah.
And it's very, very gory.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
spurting
yes.
of blood and then the body being pulled down. It's really shocking
Yeah.
to a modern audience, I think.
Yeah. What's your favourite scene? then in the
My
movie?
favourite, again, is the beach one, but it's the second time we come back to the beach. And there's the panic where the two little boys have faked the
Oh, yes.
the thing. And then suddenly you see a girl shouting, "Shark, shark,
Yeah.
shark, it's in the pool, it's in the pool." And you know that his son is in the pool.
Yes.
It's the first real shot you see of the shark with the
Yes,
fin
with the
and the
fin,
tail. And then you get the master shot of the man on the side of hanging onto the side of the boat, and underwater the side profile of
Yes.
the mouth coming.
Yes.
And you're like,
And the gills.
this
Yeah.
huge thing.
That's so far into the movie, and we're
Yeah.
all still engaged,
Yeah.
and we haven't really seen the shark.
Yeah. Later on in the film, obviously, you don't see the shark that much. Even in the main sequence where they're trying to catch the shark, it's replaced by these barrels. But they
Yes.
give that psychological thing of like, oh, you can't go down with 2 barrels. Oh, we can't go down with 3 barrels. And they keep adding barrels to him. And these barrels will go down.
Yeah.
Then they pop back up again. And as soon as you see the barrels pop up, you're like, oh, here we
Here
go
we
again.
again.
Tell you can with 3 barrels on him, not with 3 you can.
There's a really nice scene where, you know, because when the barrels are on the shark, it's all that
It's like a
energetic.
boy's adventure.
Yeah, but also it makes you sort of in some ways appreciate the shark, because there is a scene where the boat is going so fast and you've got, I'm not sure if it's Hooper or Quint on the front of the boat, and you know they're standing one side, and then you've got the barrel really blasting along the water on the other side, and
Yes.
and it's just so quick, and you've got all that light music, and you can actually really appreciate the speed that this, you know, fish is going.
I think they did a lot of test audience stuff as well with this. And there's one bit where Spielberg tested and they're like, oh gosh, they jumped at that. Oh, let's do a few more jumps.
Right.
So he shot the head popping out of the boat scene in his swimming pool.
Really?
Yeah, he shot it in his swimming pool, and they had a fake head, and they made this thing pop out. And then all of the stuff in the cage was also shot a lot later. It wasn't necessarily an afterthought. It was like, oh, we need to film more of this.
Yeah.
So that was all done on the tank stage at Universal, that section. But it's seamless because you don't really. You know.
And I mean, those two scenes. You don't come across many people that haven't seen Jaws,
No.
but when I do come across people that have seen Jaws, I find myself going
Yeah.
like that when
This is gonna-
when that scene comes up. Also, you know, the cage as well. Every time I see that cage, I just think it's too big. The gap is
The
too
gap
big.
is too big.
It's like I would be sitting at the bottom.
It's when
you
he's
know,
got his hand out trying to do something. I'm like, please bring your
but
arms
it's
in.
so. I mean, are they that big? I don't know.
I don't. I mean, I'm not even going to say it, but what do you think of this film? I mean,
I think we've said, haven't we? We've said quite a lot.
I mean, if you haven't seen Jaws, then you really should see Jaws. You'll have a great time with it. I wouldn't describe it as a horror movie. There's some jumps in there, etc., but you should definitely watch it. It's highly recommended from both of us. I think.
It's a great movie. But then we move on and we go to Jaws 2.
Jaws 2.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mind Jaws 2. I think it's still well shot. It's got John Williams doing the score again. It's got some of the primary actors back again. You've still got Roy Scheider playing the chief. You've still got Ellen Brody as the wife. You've still got Murray Hamilton as the mayor.
Are you serious?
When they first touted that they were going to make a sequel, they were going to go back in time to 1943 and do the Indianapolis as an idea, but the executives were like, no, we want to see this family back, and I think that was probably the right decision.
Yeah. And the family have moved. You know, the kids have got older.
Yeah.
Ellen Brody is
Yeah.
now actually involved in sort of the politics of the
politics of
island.
the town.
She, at some points, you know, because again, there's a shark.
Mm-hmm.
The chief has to do something about it. His wife seems to sort of look at him in a different manner because it's impacting her career
Yeah.
and her relationship with the people that she's working with,
Yes.
which you don't get that in the first one.
She's
It's
very
picked
much
with George
isolated from what's happening in the first
Yeah.
movie, and in the second one she gets a lot more of a role, which I really actually liked. I
Yeah.
thought that was a really good thing.
Yeah. The older son is out and about with his friends, likes chasing the girls.
Yeah.
Well, not really,
Well,
but
the way they portrayed the film is I read up a little bit about this, and they said that they wanted to make a movie that like would appeal to teenagers, but the whole cruising culture of driving in your cars down the high streets and stuff. But for a seaside community, they wanted them all to be in their boats
Yeah.
and they were kind of showing off to the girls and stuff.
Yeah.
So it actually works
It
quite
does.
well. Interestingly, it's quite sad really because Murray Hamilton, who played the mayor,
Yeah.
there was something going on. He wasn't happy and he was going to fly off, and the producers were like, well, what's going on? And at the time his wife was going through like biopsies and stuff for cancer treatment. So what they did actually is they moved all of his footage early. They said, okay, let's do this in 2 days. We'll shoot all your stuff within 2 days so you can fly off. It turns out his wife was okay,
Right.
so that's fine. But it just shows you that they were very flexible on the set for this
for
film.
their cast, yeah.
And
in this movie, I did feel that they were like, well, that has been done in that movie, so we need to do these things because we haven't gone to jet skis and we haven't gone to, a guy on like a I don't know what it was like. He was on the
like a paracenter
a
thing.
paracenter thing, but
Yeah.
using the sail, the spinnaker from the boat,
yeah.
and those sorts of moments. So it was actually targeting things that we hadn't seen before. I already know that it's a shark because most people
There's
will have
no-
seen the first movie. Right?
Exactly.
There's no surprises.
Yeah.
So you start the movie, you're underwater, but you're not with the shark anymore. You're just going through the water and you're introduced to divers.
Yeah.
And it's the start of the first scene.
And you're introduced to the orca. The orca's down
Yes.
there, the boat that got sunk in the first
Yes.
movie. So immediately there's that connection, and then there's the and you're like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
So the director knew that he was like, we're not going to keep the shark hidden for the second one. It's pointless
Yeah.
because everyone knows it's a shark.
It's
They know what this thing looks
expected.
like. So let's just give them the shark, and which is what they did. And very much so, I think the water skiing sequence, they wanted to show the speed of the shark. So they have this water ski and then you have this, and they perfected that that
Yes.
fin looked fantastic.
Yes.
And they were like different ways that they wanted to film it. So they had the camera on top of the shark. So as it's going through coming up, you can actually see it. I mean, some of the deaths in this, I think some of the creative deaths, I think, were really good in this film.
Ramming the boat and making the other individual throw petrol over herself.
Yes.
Now that went from that to that very quickly midway through the movie.
Yeah.
I did find that there was a lot of just ramming boats in this one.
All right. I don't mind it particularly because you can't say that the first film actually isn't crazy either because like it smashes through the windows and
But that's later in the movie,
Yeah,
though.
true.
I
Okay.
did
So
feel,
it happened too early for
Yeah,
you.
for me, it happens too early because then it happens again later,
Okay.
and it's just ramming all of the teenagers' boats.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good scene. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It's a horrific scene, and also it gives it its
scar. So it's got this burnt scar,
Yeah.
which gives its identity a
Yeah.
little bit. So for me, there's a couple of really good death sequences in this movie. Okay.
Not morbid at all.
Well, no, but it's the death of Eddie. So it's the couple that are in the single boat.
Oh, yes.
And I think that's constructed
Yeah.
so well because they're obviously going to,
Yes.
fool around on
Yeah.
the boat. And the shark hits the boat and pushes the boat away. And Eddie falls off the boat.
Yeah.
Then you see the boat stop and she looks back that way
Yeah.
to the shark coming, and then there's a fantastic race because Eddie's got to try and
Yeah.
swim back to the boat before the shark, and then you see the shark go under her boat and he's had it. And then what's terrifying is they do a Chrissy thing, like almost from the first Jaws movie where he gets propelled through
Yes.
the water and it's so violent.
Yeah.
And he gets slammed against the boat, side
Yeah.
of the boat, and he's hanging on so tightly.
It's that breathing. It's
And
that.
he gets ripped off
Yeah.
the boat, so he breaks half this wood away. And for me, that was just like,
And
wow.
she's just there.
She's just traumatized.
Yeah.
Absolutely traumatized.
Yeah.
And, And I liked the sequence after that where they recover that boat and they find her hiding in the well of the boat. And it gives a really good bit for Lorraine Gray, Ellen Brody, to sort of be the mother figure and sort of look after her.
Yeah.
So I really like that sequence. And I also like the sequence where after the boats have all got tangled up,
Yes.
you've got the youngest son on one boat holding onto the fin.
Holding the tiller,
and
yeah.
you've got poor, I think her name
yeah.
is Jackie. And she's in the water trying to get up on the boat. And from behind, you see the shark come up into frame and just go like this.
and just grab
and then
her.
she's gone. And that was just, wow, that
Yeah.
was so well shot.
And the build-up of that is just awful because she tries to save him.
Oh, it's,
you know,
yeah.
and he's there trying to like grab her glove, isn't
Yeah,
he, and to pull her up.
It's really
It's
awful. I'm not saying that all the kids are great. Some of them are just like, oh, shut up.
Well, the screaming one
Yeah.
at the end when he's hitting
Yeah.
the pipe,
Yeah.
and she's going, "Stop it! Stop
I'll
it!"
draw
like that.
her in. The ending as well on the Cable Islands.
Yes.
There was no island, so they had to build an island onto.
I think you can kind
It
of.
kind of looks a little
tell
shiny,
that-
but
yeah.
supposedly it got so slippery that the actors couldn't physically climb up it. So it took so many takes because it gets.
So that's why they're so close to
they're
the
literally
water.
like hanging on to
hanging
this
on.
slippery set. Yeah. So I mean, it all in all. I mean, I kind of know what it's. Obviously, the first one is the better movie.
Yes, yes. I mean, for me, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Just because I feel that there's a lot more to the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, in the second movie, you have the divers. I did like the way that it connected certain scenes together because you had the teenagers on the boats
Yeah.
going through the water, then they speak to another group, and then the camera stays with the divers, and then you
divers.
follow on with the divers.
Yeah.
And I loved how that connection was
agreed.
done.
Also, though, when you said there was like a connection between them coming past and then it introduces the
Yeah.
divers, again, when they're working on the diver who's got,
Yes.
in the background, you can see the fin
Yes,
traveling
going
past
past.
and heading towards the boat. So
Yeah.
it does connect.
And
I mean,
also, then you have a POV from on top of the shark going
Looking
in the direction
towards-
of all the boats as they're
yeah,
going
yeah.
off.
So there's some really creative camera angles on
Yes.
it. And I don't think it's a terrible sequel at all. I mean,
No.
it's bonkers because, a shark with a like a vendetta in some ways. It's like, but they wanted a sequel that delivered a shark, and I think they did.
And it provided different moments. It wasn't like you had a rehash, whereas
No,
you
no.
get a lot of movies now where they do the same like
Formula.
setups.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you're
they
kind
tried
of, yeah,
something different.
But they
didn't
did. They tried something different. So I mean, yes, Jaws for me would get a high mark.
Yeah, I very rarely give 10s out of 10s.
No,
on
that's
any
what I
movie.
was thinking because there's always room for some improvement, isn't there? So I think
It's terrible. It was
not that I would be able to
sacrilegious
do it myself, but
9.5 out of 10 for me for Jaws, I think.
I would give it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
And-
poxy halves here.
No
That's
poxy
good.
halves. Jaws 2, I would give it a 6.5.
Okay, I would give it a 7. So
Okay, so
yeah,
not
so
too
we're,
bad.
it's not crazy. So go ahead.
I mean, tell us your thoughts. We'd love to hear your
Yeah.
thoughts on Jaws and Jaws 2 and
Yeah.
what points you would give them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
And what you
mean,
think of them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and any comments,
Yeah.
things that you've noticed in the movies
Yeah.
that we haven't brought up in
Yeah.
this video.
And if you've liked us waffling on here, it would be fantastic if you like and subscribe. That would be amazing. So we
Yeah.
could form a community of people that like this kind of chatter.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
So thank
Hopefully you'll join us for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.